Good evening. We're about to receive a live update from Frisco police on the breaking news we've been covering for the past hour here.
Sky 4 is over a Frisco home. That's where 2 bodies were discovered. It is the home of Pallavi Devon, the mother who was arrested in February for the murder of her 10-year-old son.
Calvert Collins is on scene. Police are actually talking about what they found right now.
What, you found 2 bodies inside?
We did find 1 body inside, 1 body outside in the pool.
You don't know who they are?
No, I cannot confirm any identities.
What about a murder-suicide?
I can't confirm anything at this time other than the deceased bodies.
Is there a search, Sergeant, at this point? Is there any concern for this neighborhood or what may be going on beyond the boundaries of this property?
No.
You're not looking for any suspects?
We were called out here for the investigation of the body that was located in the pool. That's all the questions I'm going to take right now. Like I said, we'll be back later this evening with more information. Thank you.
All right, so Stephen, Heather, you just heard from Sergeant Brad Merritt with the Frisco Police Department. I want to show you what this house, you can see the crime tape surrounding it here on Mountain View Lane. This was the same scene on January 29th. Sky 4 has a live look above this home, as Sergeant Merritt just said. The 911 call today came in at 3:30 this afternoon. Sumit and Pallavi Dewan lived in this house with their 10-year-old son, Arnav. Pallavi has been accused of killing Arnav, but the family has long maintained the boy died from a pre-existing medical condition. His body was found in a bathtub on January 29th, and Frisco police had claimed at the time Pallavi nodded her head when officers asked if she killed him. But the family's attorney said Pallavi kept his body on ice to preserve it until Sumit, you can see here in pictures, could return from a business trip, which they say was part of their religious and cultural beliefs. An autopsy of Arnav's death was inconclusive. The medical examiner ruled that he had died of undetermined causes, saying that he likely had a seizure that led to a ruptured cyst in his brain and heart attack. There were no signs of foul play, and we have heard nothing as far as what had happened, if there was foul play involved, but what Sergeant Merritt was confirming is 1 man found deceased inside the home, the body of a adult female found in the pool. We can tell you that there are officers and crime scene investigators in the back of this home. You've been able to see that from Sky 4 at this time. And certainly this neighborhood, a lot of neighbors out here surprised, just as they were 8 months ago, surprised to see officers here. And we're told that the family had been distraught in recent times as going through the court process, and just certainly an unexpected scene outside of this home on this just Wednesday afternoon. So we're hoping to learn more details about who that 911 call came from, and then also what a possible cause of death was, as seen by officers here on scene when they first arrived. Stephen, Heather.
Calvert, a couple questions. We're hearing from a witness on the scene who lives in the neighborhood, and that witness is telling us that they noticed the back door that leads out of the back of the home, essentially to the pool area, was open for the last several days. Are police talking about a timetable? Do they think this all happened today, or do they know when it might have happened?
I had actually asked that earlier when we were en route up here, and they did not have a timetable. They said, again, this was, just 90 minutes or so old when I was making these calls, and they did not. They weren't giving us any information about who called, why they were in the house, if it was a relative or a neighbor had heard anything. So we don't have that kind of those details at this time.
Right, and you asked a question about a possible murder-suicide, and Officer Merritt didn't want to talk about that, but explain the importance when the question was asked, is the neighborhood safe? Are you searching for a suspect? And the answer was essentially no. Kind of put that together for us, what that means usually in police investigations.
Yes. Hanging up on the phone now.
Well, you're kind of reading between the lines there. If police are actively looking for a suspect, then we would see more of this neighborhood blocked off, I can tell you that much. You can see the crime tape is pretty much confined to actually the front of this house and not anywhere in any other part of the neighborhood. So given the fact that they are saying that they're not looking for any suspects, it certainly leads one to believe that whatever happened was confined to this home, but again, aren't confirming that quite yet. But a fairly active police scene, as just they would be investigating any kind of murder. But the fact that they are not looking for suspects, at least they're saying at this time, does lead one to believe that it is possibly a murder-suicide.
Yeah, it may be Sumit and Pallavi Dewan inside, the parents of the 10-year-old boy Arnav who died in January. And we should mention that Pallavi's attorney essentially confirmed that for us, saying he was heartbroken about what happened inside that home, inside and out apparently. All right, Calvert, thank you. We'll allow you to gather more information, reporting live from Frisco. Thank you very much. So remember,
Thank you.
Sean Rabb, we're talking about you now. We want to bring you involved. The murder investigation has not officially gone to the grand jury months after the boy's death. You've been following this closely. Talk about what you've learned in the last several minutes about this last couple hours, I guess.
Right. I've been talking to some people who are telling me that Pahlavi, first of all, has some sisters who live in the area, or in the Irving area, perhaps Las Colinas. They'd not heard from Pahlavi or Sumit in a couple of days, Steve. Sumit Dewan was a man, if you sent him a text, immediately, within a minute or two, he was responding. If you sent him an email, same way. For a couple of days, that had not been happening. Attorney David Finn did speak with them over the weekend. When he says he hadn't talked to them in 48 hours, then go back 48 hours plus. He spoke to them over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, not Labor Day, not yesterday, and not today. In fact, he has not heard from anyone officially. He's not been called other than by the media asking him what he may know, and he says he knows very little, other than Pahlavi Dewan had been extremely depressed. That was part of the testimony at the examining trial, the evidentiary hearing a couple of weeks ago. Not only depressed, but to some degree paranoid. That came out through a police sergeant who testified at that time. No one hearing from them clearly was a concern, and I know the 911 call came from someone who saw the body in the pool. Let's surmise the sister decided to go over since she had not heard from them, rang the doorbell, knocked on the front door, walked around the back of the house and saw that, or a neighbor driving by. You almost can't see that body though, based on where the pool is and the fence driving by. You have to kind of be in that backyard to see it. And so let's go with that first summation that the sister went to the house today and then made the 911 call. Again, no one has verified that, but based on things I know that have been happening, going back to no communication over the last couple of days. I can also tell you, Steve, one of the things that was really important for Sumit and Pahlavi Dewan was that she get her passport back and they be able to travel to India for these final rites for their son Arnav. And the time frame that they wanted to be in India, needed to be in India, was the 12th of September through the 20th. And this special ritual only takes place once a year in September. And of course, she was denied the right to travel out of the country.
And if you miss that, is it significantly important in that religion?
Yes,
okay.
It is extremely significant because it has to do with a soul being able to rest in peace and make the transition to the next life according to the Hindu belief. And so that not happening meant for them that Arnav could not be liberated or free in his spirit.
Okay, Sean Rabb, you'll be on this as well tonight. Thank you very much for your reporting.
Sure.